So, Humberto, please introduce yourself and where you're from.
Okay. I'm Humberto Matsuda from Performa Investimentos, one of the founders of a Brazilian private equity firm. We've been around for almost 10 years now doing early stage investments, primarily focusing on innovation. And for the past couple of years now, we've been also very careful on investing in companies with high potential for environmental and social impact.
Oh, interesting area. So can you say a little bit about what's been happening in Brazil, obviously?
Well, also in the past couple of years, we've been going through, I would say, a cleansing process, helping or enabling the Brazilians to have a better perspective in terms of a brighter future, especially considering everything that's going on in terms of corruption and everything historically in Brazil. We're starting to see for the very first time as Brazilians a brighter future and a real opportunity of development down the road.
So what does that mean for the entrepreneurs, the startups that you're looking to back?
For most of the entrepreneurs that we've been working with, and for the majority of entrepreneurs out there, it means that the problems they have been addressing for their own businesses are probably the ones that will really matter, or are the real opportunities are the ones that really matter in the long term. In other words, I say that it is possible to dream about a better Brazil, not only because we might have better politicians, but also because the entrepreneurs might start building companies for the long term as opposed to something to sell quickly and for the short term.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. And why are you back here at Corporate Venture in Brazil as a conference? I think this is your third year. Why go for the hat trick?
Well, number one, because the previous years have been so great for us, not only for Performa as a company, but for the Brazilian ecosystem. So I feel like this is a great opportunity once again to be in touch with several corporations that have the potential to dramatically change the Brazilian venture capital scenario. Second, but also almost just as important as the first reason, is because the thing that I would say that it still lacks the most here in Brazil, that we're lacking the most, is the relationship with the major corporations and big companies. Although we have quite a few companies with the potential to become unicorns, we don't see that many buyers or acquirers around that could help us transform the Brazilian ecosystem in a very successful one. You need the big players to be playing ball with us in order to be perceived and also to realize the investments that we believe that have the real potential to become home runs, for instance.
Okay, great. And as you look ahead over the next year, obviously, what would be your wish list? What would say the three things you most hope to happen over the 3 years coming out of this conference?
Well, from the conference.
Yeah, just in terms of corporate entrepreneurs, in terms of relationships.
I wish that the Brazilian counterparts of the major or the biggest corporations that are coming along, they start to understand that without the entrepreneurs or without the startup ecosystem, it will be very hard for them to be competitive in the long term. You can see the decision-making process of the major corporations outside Brazil doing a lot of interesting initiatives with startups all over the world. Why not Brazil? Why we don't see anything as the very same companies are doing in the UK, in the US, and other worlds, in other parts of the world. So Brazil must be part of that, and Brazil has the potential to do so. The entrepreneurs in Brazil are just as good as the entrepreneurs elsewhere. Probably we have a little more, I would say significantly more, but it's harder for the Brazilians to retain talent, right? Or to attract talent from abroad. But still, it doesn't mean that the top entrepreneurs from here are not just as good as the top entrepreneurs from anywhere else. So the potential is there. So the closer we get to those guys, the better we'll be for the local ecosystem. And so the way to measure that or to see that outcome is seeing more M&A activity here in Brazil and higher valuations.
Sounds a good wish list to have. Humberto, thank you for your time.
Thank you.